Hi, welcome to Chapter 5 of the Rodeo Management System demo. In this chapter, we will be showing how entries are added to a rodeo. So let's start off in the admin system. There are three ways that entries can be added to a rodeo. From the admin side, there are two ways, and of course the third way is members entering online. Let's first look at how entries can be added by the admin. So to do this, we will go to Rodeo Setup, Manage Rodeo Entrance. We will select our Rodeo Demo 2. In this report, there are a number of functions and features that can be used to manage entrants in a rodeo, including adding, editing, and deleting entries. We will be looking at this report in more depth during an upcoming chapter. For this chapter on adding entries, we will only look at the add entries functionality. So we've already selected a rodeo, and this brings up the list of all the entrants in this particular rodeo. If we want to add a new entrant, we simply click on the Add a New Rodeo Entry button. So this will now bring us a form where we can make our selections. And this is for adding a single member entry into the rodeo, one event at a time. So to do this, we can select either by demo number or by name. So by number, it will list all members in their association member number order, or by name, it will list these members in their alphabetical order by last name, then first name. So we will pick Brett. The group ID is something that is used by the draw generation engine to keep groups together through performances. Because we are putting in a new entry here that is not in a group yet, we can leave this blank and it will create a new group ID. We will then select an event, and this will show all of the events that we set up to be included in this rodeo. So we will put him in bareback riding. If this is a standard rodeo, then you will have all of your performance selections, performance preferences options here. So you can set those as per the entrant's desires. If this is a team event, then you would also need to select the team partner here. So let's just go back and change this to a team event. And now what you see is you can select the member number, or you can select it by name. And in the case of a team event, you'll also see the team role requirement here. So header or heeler in the case of team roping. And for partner status, the partner can be paid or unpaid, as some associations will have certain situations where a team member could be an unpaid team member that does not have to pay entry fees and may not receive any payout or points upon placement. So we would simply hit the submit button, and now as we scroll down through the list of entries, we will find team roping, and now we have Brett Sontag and Kyle Sontag have been entered. Here you see their group ID number that was automatically generated, and it is showing that they're entered in team roping. So when an entry is added in this way from Rodeo Setup, Manage Rodeo Entrance, there is not a entry notification email generated. There's nothing sent to the member, as typically they will have called in or sent an email in asking to be added to the rodeo. This method is most useful when you only need to add one entry to one event. If you need to add an entrant to multiple events, or add an entire group consisting of multiple members in multiple events, then there is a better way. So let's take a look at our second method called Rodeo Entry Admin Override. We go to Dashboard and click on the option. And what you'll see is it uses the same form, the same entry form as a member would use, except it is in admin override mode, which means that it will skip any entry date and duplicate checking so that the admin can enter additional entries as they need to. So we would start off by entering the member number, and it will autofill some information for us, and then select the performance preferences as per the member's instructions. And typically you would be doing this when a member has called in or has emailed in their entry instructions. And now we will select a couple of events here. We'll also select the team roping event, as we did with the manage rodeo entrance option. We will enter in the partner member number, and I'm going to leave the partner role selection. I'm going to skip that and click the next button, and you'll see that when we try to do that, it tells us that there's an error in red here, and so it won't actually allow us to complete the entry until we have passed all of the entry rules. So one of the other great things here is we can add additional entries here. So we can add a buddy entry, for example. So Kyle wants to enter some events as well as per the instructions. So we will add a couple of events for Kyle. He would also like to be in another team roping team if your association allows multiple entries. And we are going to simply not enter a member here, and then we will click the next button, and you'll see that while we have fixed one error, now we have another that we have selected a team event but no team partner. So let's scroll down to the buddy section. Let's add a partner for Kyle here, and let's also add that member to another event. And then, as you can see, we have the options to add a number of buddies. You can actually specify how many buddies will be allowed on the form. We click the next button, and it will take us through testing those different entries against the entry rules. And now you have the review and submit section showing us the events that have been selected, preferences, the buddies as they have entered. And now we would click submit your entry, and it will now give us the entry success or the success screen and show us all the members and who has entered which events, the preferences that we have here, the entry group number, and of course some of the other information here that a member would use, such as paying their fees online. Now, when we do enter in this way, it will generate an entry notification email. So let's just have a quick look at what one of those would look like. And what you'll see is that the information is the same. So we have all the entry information, pay your fees link here. So it mirrors the information on the screen. So the great thing about this is that we were able to enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different events by filling out one form, which had we used the other method would have taken us significantly longer. And so this is just a much more efficient method of entering either a single person into multiple events or multiple people, an entry group, into multiple events. So now we are going to look at how a member enters. So we have logged out of the admin system and we have gone to the default member view, which is the rodeo schedule. So we will scroll down here to rodeo demo number 2, and the member will see this rodeo entry link, and they will click on rodeo entry, and you will see the same form that we were using, but you will see that the admin override message is no longer there. So let's just start with a simple entry. So let's go with member number 5 here, who is Brett, and we will go and choose those same preferences, and we will choose the events that he chose. Now, as you recall, we just did this on the admin side. So what's going to happen is that it's going to violate a bunch of the entry test rules, such as checking for duplicates and that type of thing, because this person is already entered. So we will first see some of the warning messages here. So as you see, the member has already entered this rodeo. The partner, number 100 here, has already been entered in this rodeo as well, and so it leaves the message to call the rodeo office if you need to make changes. So this is because we intentionally have already entered them in to the rodeo, and now we're trying to enter again just so we can see how the entry tests produce error messages. And so it will test for a number of different things, which includes whether it's a valid member number, whether it's a duplicate entry as this is, whether the memberships for these members are paid, whether they have any fines owing, whether we've selected the performance preferences. It will check the team partner, the team roping partners and roles, if they have at least selected an event, and potentially some association specific rules. So in order for us to actually process this member entry, I'm going to pause this demo and then go in as the admin, delete those previous entries, and then come back here as if this was a fresh entry. So I have now deleted all of those previous entries that we had entered while in admin mode, and we will simply recreate the entries here so that we can start from a fresh entry here and enter our same information here, entering, of course, 7 different events, or 7 different combinations of members and events. And we'll enter the buddy here into the events he has chosen, and the team roping partner, and the role, and the team roping partner also as a buddy into an event. And scrolling to the end of the form here, and here is our review and submit, which again has the entrance and their information. And then we will hit submit your entry, and it will have gone through and tested all of those entries. So after we submit, after the member submits the entry form, they will have the information again as per which members entered which events, the entry group, preferences, the message that the entry has been saved. They can click to go view this in their member profile. They can pay their fees online. And when they pay, when they select to pay their fees online, they will see all of the fees owed for each member, and they can choose which ones they want to pay the fees for. So if they choose to only pay for themselves, they would just select themselves, or they can pay for all of the entry group if they so choose. So again, the entry notification email would have gone out and would appear, would have this exact same information. So taking a quick look at that, again confirming that the information here is the same as what is presented on screen here. Now we will jump back into the admin side and do a quick recap. So a quick recap, there are 3 ways to add entries. There is using Rodeo Setup Manage Rodeo Entries and clicking the Add a New Rodeo Entrant button. And that is useful for when you need to add a single member to a single event. If you need to add multiple members to multiple events, adding a entry group, you would want to use Rodeo Entry Admin Override, which uses the same form as the members. And of course, we walked through how the members would use that form and the email notifications that they would receive as well. So we have now had a look at how entries are added to the rodeos. Next up, we are going to, in our next chapter, chapter 6, we will be talking about managing those entrants and also managing online payments and other methods of payments in Chapter 6. We will see you at Chapter 6.